There was a time when the sound of an electric skillet heating up on a Tuesday evening meant only one thing. Dinner was almost ready. Before central air conditioning, before microwave dinners, and long before air fryers took over our countertops, this single chrome box was the absolute heart of the American home. In Sears and Roebuck catalogs throughout the early 1960s, it was advertised as one of the easiest ways to cook an entire family meal without heating up the whole kitchen. Electric skillets quickly became one of the most popular wedding gifts of the late 1950s and early 1960s. When mothers plugged that thick coiled cord into the wall, the thermostat clicked, butter hissed across the hot metal, and the entire house filled with rich aromas that brought 3 generations straight to the table. But somewhere along the line, the recipes that made this skillet iconic simply faded away. One of these meals, specifically number 4, was a staple in almost every Midwest household during hard times. Yet today, it's rarely mentioned outside old church cookbooks and family recipe boxes. And the meal at number 1 was so deeply tied to Sunday family tradition, its sudden disappearance left a quiet hole in American food history. If you remember the rhythmic hum of that skillet and the steam escaping from under the heavy glass lid, you're in the right place. Here are 15 forgotten electric skillet dinners no one makes today. Number 15. Johnny Marzetti. This Midwestern favorite first gained popularity in Ohio, where busy home cooks layered seasoned ground beef, tomato sauce, tender egg noodles, and generous handfuls of cheddar into one satisfying skillet meal. It was pure comfort after a long school day, but the next dinner actually began as a clever butcher shop trick. Number 14. Mock chicken legs. During the mid-century, real chicken was surprisingly expensive, but pork and veal scraps were dirt cheap. Butcher shops molded ground pork around wooden skewers to look like drumsticks. Mothers dusted them in cracker crumbs and laid them into the pan. As the butter hissed and the grease popped, a golden, savory crust locked in the juices, fooling an entire generation of kids into eating their dinner. Number 13. Slumgullion. When the pantry was running low and the week's grocery money was nearly gone, slumgullion was often the dinner that saved the evening. Seasoned ground meat, diced bell peppers, elbow macaroni, and whatever stewed tomatoes were left in the pantry. The electric skillet gave everything time to come together. As the gentle heat worked its way through the pan, the macaroni soaked up the rich tomato juices until every bite tasted deeper than the last. Long before glossy cookbooks filled bookstore shelves, recipes like this were quietly passed from one church kitchen to another on handwritten recipe cards. Number 12. Creamed tuna and pea skillet. The sound of a can opener was followed by the rich crackle of butter in the skillet. Canned tuna, sweet green peas, and a thick flour and milk cream sauce were stirred directly over the electric heat. Poured smoking hot over crispy chow mein noodles or toasted Wonder Bread, it was rich, velvety, and fed a family for under 75 cents. Number 11. Poor man's chop suey. On thousands of busy weeknights, this was already bubbling before Dad pulled his station wagon into the driveway. Long before takeout became an everyday habit, home cooks made their own version using ground beef, celery, onions, soy sauce, and bean sprouts. Steam rolled across the lid as the vegetables stayed crisp while absorbing a rich dark gravy. The next recipe didn't fade away because families stopped loving it. It quietly disappeared as grocery stores began filling their shelves with faster, easier alternatives. In the late 1960s, pre-packaged box dinners promised to save housewives time. But what they gained in convenience, they lost in flavor. Convenience may have saved a few minutes, but it couldn't recreate the rich flavors that slowly developed inside a well-seasoned electric skillet. Number 10. Tamale pie. Cornmeal batter spread thinly across the bottom, topped with spiced beef, corn, and tomatoes, then buried under cheddar. The electric skillet acted like a tabletop oven, crisping the bottom cornmeal crust into a golden shell while the cheese bubbled violently at the top. Number 9. Spanish Rice Skillet Supper. Uncooked white rice toasted directly in bacon fat right inside the pan until it turned fragrant and nut brown. Diced tomatoes, green peppers, and sliced hot dogs were stirred in before the lid sealed in the steam. In 20 minutes, the rice plumped up into a rich, smoky masterpiece that cost pennies to make. If you're enjoying this little trip back through American food history, take a second to hit that subscribe button and tell me in the comments below, which of these electric skillet meals did you eat growing up? I love reading your family stories. Now, this next recipe was an absolute secret weapon during hot summer months. Number 8. Skillet Pineapple Upside Down Cake. Thousands of newlyweds used their electric skillet specifically because they could replace a scorching oven during July and August. Melted butter and brown sugar coated the bottom, topped with pineapple rings and cherries, then covered in yellow cake batter. With the vent knob open on the high dome lid, steam escaped softly as the bottom caramelized into a sticky, golden crown. Number 7. Western Scramble Supper. Diced leftover ham, crisp bell peppers, hashed brown potatoes, and a dozen beaten eggs thrown directly into the skillet. The bacon fat popped as the eggs puffed up around the salty ham, creating a light, fluffy scramble that fed everyone straight out of the pan. By the 1950s, flavors that had once seemed unfamiliar were beginning to find a place on ordinary American dinner tables, and this skillet meal became part of that story. Number 6. Chow mein skillet. Ground pork sautéed with celery, onions, and water chestnuts, thickened with cornstarch and soy sauce, served over a bed of crunchy fried noodles. This dish brought the excitement of exotic dining straight into Midwestern kitchens without ever having to leave the house. Number 5. Corned beef hash deluxe. Canned corned beef mashed together with potatoes and diced onions, spread flat across the hot surface. Left undisturbed, the bottom formed a deep mahogany crust that crackled with every forkful, while small wells were made on top to crack fresh eggs directly into the hash to steam. Which brings us to the forgotten staple promised in our intro. Number 4. The Shipwreck Dinner. Also known in church cookbooks as the dime store supper, this layered dish got its name because it looked like a total mess, but tasted like absolute heaven. Raw sliced potatoes, ground beef, sliced onions, kidney beans, and uncooked rice were stacked in layers straight inside the cold electric skillet, then drenched in a can of tomato soup. The lid rattled for 45 minutes as the ingredients steamed together into a thick, comforting stew. Today, it's rarely mentioned outside old church cookbooks and family recipe boxes. Number 3. Hot dog and bean supper. Sliced frankfurters seared in butter until the edges curled and charred, then folded into canned pork and beans with brown sugar, mustard, and vinegar. As it bubbled gently, the sauce thickened into a dark, sticky glaze that kids absolutely adored. Number 2. Egg Foo Young Skillet. Before modern Chinese food delivery was everywhere, American home cooks relied on their electric skillets to make this classic dish. Fluffy egg patties packed with bean sprouts and tiny shrimp were shallow fried until crisp on the outside, then drizzled with a rich, glossy brown gravy, stirred together right in the same pan. And that brings us to number 1, the meal that wasn't created by a restaurant chef or listed in modern trend blogs, but stood as the absolute symbol of Sunday family togetherness. Number 1. Pan-fried Sunday chicken with skillet gravy. This wasn't fast food fried chicken. Fresh chicken pieces soaked overnight in salted buttermilk, dredged in heavily black-peppered flour, and placed into half an inch of sizzling lard or shortening inside the skillet. After the last piece of chicken was lifted from the skillet, no one rushed to wash the pan. Those brown bits left behind became the foundation for a smooth, savory gravy that completed the meal. Before anyone even reached for a fork, someone always stole one crispy piece straight off the platter. and every family pretended not to notice. If you still have an old electric skillet tucked away in your basement, wipe off the dust and plug it in. You might be surprised how quickly one forgotten skillet dinner can bring an old family memory back to life.